The transnational success of Hatsune Miku is due to the personal connection and meanings fans can ascribe to this virtual idol. My name is Katie Ross and today I'm going to be discussing the relationship Western fans have with Vocaloid. This is Hatsune Miku. She's the face of the Vocaloid software worldwide. Miku is 16 years old, recognisable with her twin blue ponytails and versatile singing voice, and she doesn't exist. Vocaloid is a vocal synthesis software package functioning similarly to the standard digital audio workstations used by electronic music composers. Vocaloid's aim is to provide composers with readily available virtual singers in your computer. When Vocaloid was first developed for a research project in 2000, it was never intended to grow. However, in 2004 it saw its first commercial release with the soul singers Leon and Lola by British company Zero G. Since then, Yamaha developed the character voice series and has had them produced and sold by Krypton Future Media in 2007. From this we got the familiar faces the fans adore today, including Hatsune Miku. Aside from Kaito and Maiko, who were developed by Zero G, the character voice series was the first attempt with the marketing concept of selling Vocaloids as virtual personas. They had the definitive anime style images attached to them instead of being a faceless idea like Leon or Lola. A defining feature of Vocaloid is its pioneering creative license agreement, called PIAPRO, where artists can freely produce music using their image without having to pay any royalties. This led to the rise of the doujinshi DIY style culture. Although Vocaloid was originally aimed at professional producers, the freedom attracted many amateur musicians who have since made fame thanks to their use of the software. Those who cannot afford the software are drawn to create music using alternative free vocal synthesis software such as Utau. Producers prefer to use virtual as opposed to real singers because a culture has developed where fans east and west appreciate the music as if it was created by their idols. Effectively, producers are giving up part of their image as an independent musician to be recognised on Miku's merit. A fan will say, "Oh, I love this new song by Miku," rather than acknowledging a real person was behind it at all. This is where it gets interesting. Many fans deem Miku and the gang to be real. From here stems many questions, especially when concerning authenticity, moral implications, philosophy. I will be focusing on what Miku means to fans and what function the music plays in their lives. I believe discussing this can help us discover why Miku has gained global popularity despite any lack of serious marketing campaigns outside of Japan. Within Japan nowadays, myriads of Miku merchandise are pumped out. You can get a Miku statue, or 100, Miku keyring, Miku stickers, Miku manga, Miku car, Miku motorbike, Miku Domino's pizza. Miku has appeared everywhere. Miku opera, Miku concert, Miku on a talk show, Vocaloid video games, apps, the list goes on. Looking specifically at the West, here are a few possible gateways. Ivan Polka, one of Miku's most iconic songs based on the combination of the leek spin meme and the Finnish folk song, appeared in the video game Just Dance in 2016. The Project Diva video game series was recently localized and released in the West on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. Pop artists Lady Gaga, Pharrell Williams and Mike Oldfield have used Vocaloid in their music. YouTube videos such as Elders or Youngsters React to Hatsune Miku by the Fine Bros. General video recommendations, particularly Nyancat, was a popular meme back in the day. And at anime conventions you always see Miku cosplayers or merch present. I personally fell down the rabbit hole after seeing Miku being used in a Firefox theme back in 2009. I loved the style so much, so looked it up. Volcano Hatsune Miku. What is that? I used this exact shady MP3 download site to hear my first Vocaloid tracks, the now popular Romeo and Cinderella and the still obscure Kuma beat. I listened to them on repeat. I had no idea what the lyrics were about, but I fell in love with the sound and image. Fast forward to 2012 and thanks to more dubious downloading and torrenting, I had stuffed my iPod full with now mostly obscure and forgotten about Vocaloid tracks. My strange taste was validated when I attended my first anime convention and found out there are others. Aside from community building, albeit online or in person, a crucial factor in the appeal is how versatile Vocaloid is. Despite it only being a software, the generated vocals are credited as the uniting factor of all of this very diversely styled music under the umbrella genre Vocaloid. To call it a genre feels dubious on the surface because musicologically tracks vary extremely. Yet many avid listeners go on to show interest in genres otherwise alien to them just because the voices are what they were attracted to and ultimately the accompanying music is a trade-off. A bold statement, but if it weren't for the connection to a virtual idol, many of the now popular music would have been undiscovered. Any fellow fans I ask admit they were first attracted to the image, then after hearing music and learning of the technology, they were attracted to the novelty factor. As crushing to the producers as this may be, so much of the appeal of Vocaloid may rely on the fans' ability of self-projection. Now for some features of the music. The interplay between the producer and the created virtual persona is often investigated in song narratives. Vocaloids combine the real and illusionary to explore Japan's increasing fascination with technology. By exploring the enigma of technology within the modern, with both incorporating the controllers as being real or recognised as part of the illusion on stage. This quote refers to the common practice of the Vocaloid referring to the producer as their master within the lyrics. Despite having only Japanese, Chinese and English voice banks, the software is user-friendly enough to have been used to create lyrics of other languages too, thus localizing it. Notably in Spain, Indonesia or Germany where large fan bases exist. Vocaloid's global fan collective demonstrates the internet's power to overcome real-world reified borders. Songs are often set in non-places. This allows the viewer to ascribe their own ideas on a location, making it more relatable. Similarly, Vocaloids themselves could be described as non-people. They have a symbolic existence. Official aspects of Miku's identity are not set in stone to producers or fans. It's up to the listeners to create their own headcanons, relating to the personality or the lore. Unlike real people whose actions outside of their onstage persona can massively affect their public image, idols with no presence in the world have no reputation to destroy. Some Japanese producers demonstrate strategic essentialism, which can divide viewers into two camps. Those who are from the same social location, so have an expected understanding of the references, and the others, i.e. Westerners. For example, let's take a quick look at Ohedo Julia Night by Japanese producer Michi M, which currently sits at 6.8 million views on YouTube, but only 288,000 on the Japanese equivalent video sharing site Nico Nico Doga, despite having been uploaded on the same date in September 2017. The extreme difference in viewer count is unusual but not unheard of. Western and Asian Vocaloid fans certainly have different canons of favourites. In Ohedo Julia Night, Michi M is playing with the cliché expectations Western fans may have of Japanese history. The exaggerated, oftentimes obscure but clever references help exoticize the work to a Western audience. Perhaps a process of self-othering attractive as it places the Western listeners in a position of power, whilst also plunging them into the unknown. An alternative view is to suggest the technological other is no other at all. Neither an external space to be conquered, nor an object to be used, but rather something that already exists within oneself. Although the music video and lyrics ooze Japaneseness, the musicological language spoken is very familiar to Westerners, being related to 1990s techno. For example, the use of a Roland TR-909 drum machine, the dubstep bridge, strophic structure, male rapper plus female diva combination. Meanwhile, it also uses percussion found in traditional Edo music such as the hyoshigi and taiko drum. A mixture of Old Japanese and English make up the lyrics. For example, the song begins he, fu, mi, which Japanese listeners will understand as an outdated way to count to 3, functioning to immediately set the scene. Even with this limited context, we begin to understand how diverse the meanings afforded to this work are dependent on the viewer. Despite what would seem an apparent catering to Japanese audiences, this song is evidently far more popular among Western fans. Perhaps it is this flavour of the unusual that resonates with many of the adolescent fans seeking to craft their individual personalities through unique music taste. Does a feedback loop develop, wherein singers adapt to others' perceptions of them? Or in the case of Vocaloid, the producers compose to appeal to the listeners? Hatsune Miku is so loved because fans can project their desires onto her. Anything goes. To paraphrase one of Nina Eichheim's conclusions, there is no connection between reified categories such as race and gender and Miku's synthesized voice. The attraction to Hatsune Miku is that she sings in an unfamiliar language, likely not understood by the listener. She has no physical body attached to her, so fans are not idolizing a real body. It has been suggested that there may be a connection between affinity for Hatsune Miku and behavioral disabilities, particularly with autism spectrum disorders. Perhaps a more extreme conclusion by some is that fans experience objectum sexuality or objectphilia, the intimate desire for objects, for example, the Japanese man who married Hatsune Miku. On the most fundamental level, Hatsune Miku's box art and phonemes are a signifier. The signified is our choice to hear the melodic string of phonemes connected with the image and decide she's a singer. We are constantly ascribing meanings to all music, perhaps subconsciously. The complexity of Vocaloid and the issues of authenticity surrounding it beg for multimodal cross-checking. The choices we make as an individual are much more valuable when no real answer exists. There is no real Miku, only the construction we create of her for ourselves as individuals. Although some meanings are shared between groups with similar experiences, ultimately the real power of Vocaloid comes from our own personality we reflect in it. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.